last year, as a matter of fact, we've sat here and consistently criticized Pesero, his tactical acumen, how good he is as a coach and all of that. But it looks like the players are seeing things differently.
Well, Mari, have you heard from the players?
Well, the coach,
this is a reported speech from the coach.
The coach is saying the players begged me to stay.
That's the conversation I'm saying.
Yeah.
We've not heard from the players. We've not heard any players say we really wanted him to say. But we know the standard. Look at the records.
Yeah.
Jose Pizarro, yes, he qualified us for. But by all standards, if you keep Janet Raw and keep Jose Pizarro, Janet Raw was far better than Jose Pizarro.
The results,
at some point,
yeah.
Nigeria looked at it and we said, oh, we're not playing fascinating football. I think the only difference we've had with Jose Pizarro has been this, that he came in and said he wanted to win the Nations Cup. We're yet to see it, but we're hopeful he can do it. He's a coach now. He's not really done anything special for many to say, oh, the players begged him to stay. Come on, Mark.
So you don't think the players asked him to stay?
No, I do not think so. I think it's just part of those conversations to the media, just speaking tough about himself. Like I say, come on, I wanted to do this, and they say I shouldn't.
Now, UT, I understand Lighter's perspective, basically, but he's been working with the boys for at least a year now, right? And as against the kind of raw time where we clearly had stories of gross indiscipline in the camp of the Super Eagles, right? Yeah. It was clear we had those kind of stories. Absolutely. Players were going against the coach's decision and all of that. Players smuggling ladies into the camp and all of that. We had the stories, yeah, right?
We did.
No, but we haven't had any case of a rift between Jose Pesero and the players. We've not had any case of a clash, or some sort of bad blood between the players or between the coach and the players. It means that Pesero, there's something he's doing in keeping everybody in the fold happy.
Not about, of course, tactical acumen. That's basically something I haven't really seen. That's a deficiency in the Super Eagles camp. I think one of the reasons would be the reasons you've just mentioned. No misconduct, personally, and of course, disciplinary reasons. We haven't really had cases like that. But if he's on the parameters or the basis of adding quality to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I do not think that's one of the reasons. Basically, maybe I just feel he has this level of synergy between him and the national team players, and that, of course, they're also confident of playing for him better, a lot better, and not about quality. Because if we talk about tactical acumen, I haven't really seen him much improved under Coach Jose Pesero, like we saw under Governorship. So I think basically for me, it's just about the synergy he has with the national team player, and perhaps the discipline is actually instilled into the national team squad that prompted them to say, please, stay with us.
Mari, let me have a bite on this one now, especially now that he's talked about synergy. I do not think there's much about the synergy with the players. I do not think so. I think we're just at a time where we had lots of attacking players, and it seemed like the future is bright. The only thing and synergy I think Jose Pesero has is with the NFF. He just basically understands how to handle the NFF. He's not talking, there's no point fighting your employers rather. And that's the conversation for me, nothing more, because he's not handled any tournament yet.
Right.
When you look at it, Jose Pizarro has not handled any tournament, basically qualifiers. He's really not done anything with the national side. The first test for him would be the Nations Cup come January, and that's when we begin to assess if there's synergy with the side. When we talk about Janet Raw, it was basically that. He went to 2 tournaments, the World Cup, also went to the Nations Cup, finished it with Nigeria, the Nations Cup, basically that. And many people were quite disappointed, but the players for me, the players were okay with Janet Raw. They never really had any issues, but for the very fact that they had to depend on I think it was actually Jose Pizarro who had to depend on Ahmed Musa and Odion Gallo, and that second coming, was it? Nigeria couldn't, it was Austin Aguavong, not Jose Pizarro, and Nigeria couldn't qualify for the World Cup. Beyond that, Jose Pizarro had not partaken in any competition yet. Until he does that, that's when we really get to judge how he's good and his performance moving forward.
Well, that's a conversation from here, but I still think the players asked him to stay. Well, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, by the way, departs for Addis Ababa on Sunday ahead of the first leg of the 2024 Olympic qualifying fixture against Ethiopia. The 4 home-based players in the team, Comfort Foloronsho, Okpeyemi Ajakaye, Jumoke Alani, and Monlo Yona would leave Abuja with officials of the team. The quartet will be joined by the foreign-based counterparts in Addis Ababa. The first leg of the second round contest will be held in Addis Ababa Wednesday, October 25th. The reverse fixture is slated for the MKO Abiola Stadium on Tuesday, the 31st of October 2023. The Super Falcons have failed to qualify for the last 3 editions of the Olympics, just so you know. Nevertheless, we wish them the very best, and we hope that they show class and quality as much as possible and qualify for the Olympics. Let's look at CAF. Well, CAF is undertaking a week-long inspection visit to host cities for the African as part of preparations for the Ivory Coast tournament. Well, CAF, in collaboration with the local organizing committee, will conduct a 5-day inspection mission in a number of cities that would host the competition next year. And of course, that's the story. Well, just so you know, Nigeria grouped to the same group as the host Ivory Coast alongside Equatorial Guinea and of course Guinea-Bissau. So we're looking forward to seeing the action as they come in hard, thick and very fast. NFF Congress with no excuse. He's also been accused of changing the association logo without approval of the board and the Congress. He's also been accused of denying the Nigerian Professional League AI camera delegate access to test run the AI camera prior to the commencement of the league, and also accused of total disregard to NFF instructions on NPFL rules and regulations regarding branding and streaming of matches by Sporting Lagos, and it's an evolving conversation, but it's a dramatic thing. I hope the NFF steps in as soon as possible to get that fixed and get that done. But let's come back home because charity, the say, starts at home. So the Akwa Ibom State Governor's Cup continues, and it's been a story. By the way, like I told you in the morning, well, I don't know the time. I think the time of the game is by 3 p.m. And there's a game between Urefong Uroko and Nkpaini local government area. And of course, for the record, I am actually from Nkpaini, as a matter of fact, while my mom is from Urefong Uroko. And from the start of this competition, I have vociferously, vocally, consistently supported Nkpaini. Just one time I decided to support my mom's local government area, they came for my head in the morning blinded. And this is me reiterating my support for Urefong as a play Nkpaini later today. And of course, that's the story. But let's look at the table and the games that we've seen so far so good today. UT, can you help us with the games have gone down so far so good today?
I think we've only seen one game today, and that's between Eastern Obolo and Ona. Ona defeated Eastern Obolo by 4 goals to 1. We're still yet to get all the results across all the stadiums as well. But for now, that's the results we've got.
Qualified for the Super 12 competition. Now, the table as things stand right now, Uyo sit top of the Uyo Central District with 15 points, Rubium second, 15 points, Run third, 11 points, Bionibum fourth, 11 points to fifth, 10 points, Retai sixth, 8 points, Ntiribum 7, 6 points, Ibesikba Sultan 8, 5 points, and 18 and 9th, just 3 points so far. At Tikotek Benin Central District, well, Obodokara, as we told you, is qualified for the next round, the Super 12. 20 points Ghana, Tiofa Kotek Benin second, 15 points. It's Sienudem third, 14 points. Ikona fourth, 13 points. It's a Mekbo 50, 12 points. Back sixth, 11 points. Oroganam 7th, 11 points. In 8th, 5 points. Ikan 9th, 5 points. And Okanafan 10 rather, with 4 points. Well, at the Arcade Senatorial District, where this concerns me, even on City up 19 points. On our second, 19 points as well. Ref on third, 17 points. I'm supporting them today, by the way. You got about 4th, 16 points. Take it 5th, 14 points. Timbo 6th, 13 points. We don't call 7th, 11 points. Around 8, 10 points. Bayani 9th with 10 points. Take it 10th with 4 points. Istanbul 11th with 4 points. And a Kobo rock bottom with just 1 point. Europe, ladies and gentlemen, it started yesterday. There's been a lot of games going down so far. Blind, I'll start with you on this one. Ghanaian national team, Nigeria's closest neighbors and somehow arch rivals when it comes to football and basically everything, including food. Well, they lost to USA yesterday by how many goals? Make that 4 goals to 1.
4 goals to 0.
4 goals to 0. The Ghanaian national team losing on the night to USA. Well, they have quality. They're blessed with a lot of quality, but never counted for them yesterday against the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, I think the pick of it for me was when a Nigerian scored against them too. Makes sense. Sounds like sweet revenge for me. 4-0. Following Balogun also scoring the 22nd minute. Yeah, I'm joking. Just joking. I'm joking there. But it was 4-0 in favor of United States of America. And Rena scoring the 10th and 39th minute. And Christian Pulisic also scoring a penalty in the 19th minute. All goals coming in the first half. But I think it was quite embarrassing for the Ghanaian because when I saw these fixtures, I thought probably the best the United States of America would gain would be a draw in this game. Expected a fight from Ghana. It never happened. But it brings back the conversation about Ghanaian football, especially when it matters most, big games, and we're moving to the Nations Cup. It reminds me of the previous Nations Cup. They lost out in the group stages, and you looked at the group they were in. It wasn't a strong group. About 2 red cards in 2 games at the group stage is quite concerning, and they'll be hoping to build up a team. And you look at that team, who's the fulcrum of that team? Definitely Mohamed Kudus, no other player, but it ought to be better. Ghana are a solid side, especially you have a decent midfielder like Thomas Partey. I think the biggest problem for Ghana now is scoring goals, and they have to begin to work on it and see how they can sit that out and sort it out and make good reading out of it moving to the Nations Cup.
Well, UG, are they good enough for the Nations Cup?
I think they are good enough. This is just a preparatory game, so I wouldn't really...
That's how they start until they start losing games.
I understand that, but basically I wouldn't really want to read meaning to it. Like I said, it's a preparatory game where bulk of the friendly or international friendly matches is just, of course, the time where we get to see, teams trying to redress in terms of form, in terms of tactics going forward. But if you look at the quality, just like Bladen rightly said, this is a kind of West African team that can actually compete favorably with other top teams in the African tournaments proper. I think the base or the ambition of the Ghanaian football association and the team as well should be about winning the African title. Anything less than that might just be quite a disappointment for them. They've actually gathered superstars basically as compared to what we've seen over
time. By superstars, who are you referring to?
Mohamed
Superstars?
Kudus is there. Are you for Crystal Palace? Naki Williams. So far, let it be about.
Like you mentioned Inaki Williams.
Thomas Partey of Arsenal. I mean, we haven't seen that in recent times. Bulk of their players playing their trade in top clubs in Europe. So basically, the time is now for Ghana to also, take as an ambition that they need to win the African title as well.
Maria loved the result now because the result rings early bell. Because sometimes you think you're doing fine, just like Nigeria after beating Sao Tome and Principe. Everyone started shouting, oh, Nigeria, Nigeria. And it took on Saudi Arabia. Now everybody's saying, oh, we don't have a keeper, we don't have a keeper. We never said that when we defeated Sao Tome and Principe.
Right.
So for Ghana, quite a good one for them now in preparation towards the Nations Cup. Conceding 4 goals, it shows that everything isn't fine with the Black Stars of Ghana. They have to go back home. The problem I have with all this conversation is, you go back home to what? They go back home to the drawing board. I think the board is broken now. Everybody's going back to the drawing board, Murray.
Construct another one already. Well, just for the record, the same Saudi Arabia that we struggled to defeat lost Somali by 3-1 yesterday.
Absolutely.
And so you see, there's a gap in quality. We keep talking about Nigeria getting ready for the African. Mali are in the African.
We were never ready. We're never ready for the African.
Well, just as I said early days, good that we can find now that we do not have a goalkeeper ready for African. But holistically, beyond just a goalkeeping position, because I think Adeleye can do the job of African. If we do not trust Maduka Okoye, and probably can trust Adeleye. He's not made a mistake for me yet. He's been pretty decent until African. But holistically, when you look at the entire team, Mali, Ghana, the Super Eagles have a better team.
I think one of the biggest problem or the biggest bend for the Super Eagles would be Coach Husi Pesero also trying out other goalkeepers. Just like Blood and Blacklisted, we also have other keepers that can actually stand in. But recently, we've seen when they have been schoolboy errors, it hasn't been. So try other keepers as well.
Where Uyibo don't sign. Ivory Coast played a 1-1 draw, by the way, with South Africa. France defeated Scotland by 4-1. A really tough game. Australia 2-0 against New Zealand. Mauritania losing to Burkina Faso 2-1 as well. Yesterday, let's travel to Europe. England took on Italy yesterday. It was supposed to be a very feisty game, but it turned out to be just a one-sided affair. And of course, it was Jude Bellingham, the star of the game for the English national team. Scamacca opened scoring for Italy in the 15th minute. Harry Kane equalizing in the 32nd through a penalty. It was, of course, won by Bellingham. Bellingham made turn provide as well, assisting Marcus Rashford before Harry Kane scored his second of the game in the 77th minute. And they defeated Italy by 3-1. Now, UT were the ones saying that they stand a good chance of winning the Euro 2024 next year with this kind of performance, right?
Yeah, definitely. We see they're already against the Italy national team. They have quality of players as well moving forward. And then I talked about the fact that this English national team have reached the quarterfinals of the Euros. They've reached the semi-finals, and recently they were in the final against Italy. And of course, if you see the progression, you could certainly say next year's Euros, they should actually win it. Now, I'm not actually prophesying, but I'm just following the progress that the English national team have made. I understand they've got players over time that can actually, would have won trophies for them, but it hasn't been. They've also found a way of, bringing about emerging young talent, despite the fact that we've seen all the quality lads also fed in terms of age and careers as well. This is the time for them to win the Euro 2024. The emergence of Jude Bellingham should also be an addition to them moving forward. They got a lot of players right now. The English national team should challenge for it as well.
Now, Blyden, here's the thing. Now, I don't know if you think they're favorites for the Euros as well. Let's start from there. Are they favorites for the Euros?
Well, I think
I just said a yes and a no answer, Blyden.
One of the favorites.
One of the favorites.
It's always too blanket saying yes.
All right. One of the favorites for the competition. So now, UT said quarterfinals at some points, then semi-finals the next Euros, and then finals the next Euros, basically. So he's saying he's saying the favorites. You're saying they're one of the favorites. So what do they have? What are they doing differently that will put them in a position to win it this time?
I think they've always been in this position. Quality players, quality leagues, quality football. The English national team, 3 Lions for me. The only problem I've always had with the English national team is before the tournament starts, they begin to concentrate on singing the song is coming home instead of really going to the
It has never come home.
And it doesn't want to go home. On the second aspect of it, another problem I have with the England national team is the mental block they have, especially when they see a team that they think this team is a little bit superior to them or at the same level to them. For example, I refer the last time we talked about it to the World Cup. Immediately they faced France. It was as if they were going to lose. Everyone is talking about, the French national team, the French national team, the French national team. And everyone's trying to mark Kylian Mbappe. I think the biggest bend for the English side is the French national team. We saw them last World Cup. They reached the finals. And they could also reach another final in this one based on the talent scattered around it. I don't want to mention names, Mari, but we know them. But look, the English have a fascinating side. I'm talking about the French national team in that case.
Thank God,
but the English have a fascinating talent, a fascinating team, a pool of collective players. I think if they put their axes together in terms of that mentality and pull out that mental block, they can win it. But I worry for one player, Jude Bellingham. Fantastic player. He's backed 9 Man of the Man award so far in 12 games in all competition from club to international duty. Harry Kane also scoring goals, but not an impact player for me when it matters most in big games. But here is the thing I worry about Jude Bellingham. Now he's drifting forward, just wanting to score goal. I really hope it doesn't get to happen to him, just as it happened to Bruno Fernandes. At some point, he forgets how to play midfield and just be going up front trying to score goals.
Now, what the man has showed a lot of class and quality. 11 games played so far, 9 Man of the Match awards. He's a generational talent and a top player, as a matter of fact. But let's begin to take your calls and your reactions to the stories discussed so far. 090-2223-1011 and of course 0817-624-8565. By the way, we are streaming live on the Planet Radio 101 FM Yo page. That's the official page of the station. So go there, drop your comment on the live feed, see Blyden's fine red jacket, and comment on the show.
England is a team that I like. I want to win the next Euros based on affiliation with being former colonizers and then affiliation with England in Premiership. But the problem with England national team is they have the midfield, they have the attack, with plethora of stars, but the defense using a certain Maguire, who is always a bench woman, as a left back, instead of a right back. That is where I have a problem. The other problem is the goalkeeping position. How can you speak for? That is playing for Everton. Like Everton are a relegation threatening. Everton was considering goal, but they didn't pick fourth ahead of other top keepers.
All right.
And then certain people from Newcastle, they didn't call him to the team. So I don't know why they are pick for. Pick for is not a big time goalkeeper.
Thank you
like the rest of the team.
very much. At least he's not Uzoho. Good afternoon. Welcome, Victor.
Yeah, I said that I was really happy with the international break. It's always a platform for all the clubs to come to their country to at least prepare themselves to come make a new sport. So,
all right.
Come on, but when you look at the Governor's Cup that is really going, I'm really happy for the historical moment, Maradona. We are seeing one at a time. Some of the players like they are still in the first time. So the history is going to be there for them.
Thank you. Thank you.
But let me advise the players that are there for to do well to make good use. At least before the end of the competition, someone will take it somewhere. That's like the thing.
Thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565.
Hello.
Yes, Micah.
Yes, good afternoon, my uncle.
How you doing, Micah?
I'm doing well. I'm great. And you too?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Please, I want to talk about the Governor's Cup. Please, have they finished playing or have they finished playing?
No. Some games are so good. I don't think Tinubu is playing today.
Okay. Thank you, my uncle.
Thank you very much, Micah, for talking to us this afternoon. Sure, let's on the line.
Very good afternoon.
How far now?
Good afternoon. Okay, I did. Nigeria net AFCON. But I don't know why Ghana they concede goal like this. Against USA, against USA, you are conceding 4 goals with all the attacking threats. You are conceding that kind of amount of goals. Then they go check their way and not choose a good brother who stand for their goals. That yesterday or this early morning. But the governor thought that is very green. It's a very nice one. He has left in Bahrain.
They are supporting Robo. Oh,
That's where my mother is from now, bro.
You have every right to support anybody you want to support.
Thank you very much.
Marry. But if easy, run, I'm not going to you.
Thank you very much for talking to us. This is you want my side you too.
Regarding this, especially when you want to go for
That's my problem. I am praying. They called me in the morning and asked me why. The Kingsmen of mine. Hello, good afternoon. Call us back. Right, so let's look at our CONMEBOL. As a matter of fact, Lionel Messi scored twice to help his side. The Argentina national team defeats Peru by 2-0. We'll talk about that game after the score. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello, Donna. How are you doing?
Great, thank you so much. Name and location.
I'm supposed to Samuel calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome, Sam. Go ahead.
I just want to let my thought of what is training now, the Governorship Cup, and of course, the Nigerians' performance during the last friendlies with Mozambique, and as well as Saudi Arabia. Well, I think the Nigerians have given back the contract to Pesiro of the man. It's just been, it's a big mistake, which they will need to regret at the end of the day, because a black goat is better found in the data that when it's dark is rain, then now it's going to cover it. So for them to have given back the contract to the man, it shows it. For me, I wouldn't say so. Look, it's a big, crucial mistake, very crucial mistake they are making, and they will need to regret, and they will need to pay for it during the AFCON, unless traffic action is taken for now. I mean,
what retroactive action do you think will be taken between now and January next year?
From now till January next year, unless something happens, then the man is not going to take Nigeria to any glory. Just bet you you need to justify that Nigeria is in a gumbo soup. Of course, you got to say that again and again, because the man has something else to offer. How could you take 4 or 3 goalkeepers to a kind of I would say preparation or something, only for you to play only one that is having constant mistakes and falls all over his body, and you feel he's going to go far? Where do you do a wrong thing at the right time? And it's a very good result.
Thank you very much.
It's going to be regrettable if I don't man the title of coach for work in Nigeria.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for having me. I'm a strong couch.
Thank you, Sam. Have a nice day as well. It's always a delight talking to you. And I love Right, so let's look at the CONMEBOL blighting. First of all, the man who calls himself, or who they call the GOAT, Lionel Messi, became the all-time top scorer in South American World Cup qualifying yesterday, scoring twice in Argentina's 2-0 victory against Peru in Lima. Messi, who was included in the squad despite having been sidelined in recent weeks with a muscle problem, came on as a substitute in Thursday's 1-0 win over Paraguay, but was on the pitch from the start of the game in Lima. And of course, he put the world champions in front in the 32nd minute to the superb shot and made it 2-0. 10 minutes later, through Enzo Fernandez's cross, he has now scored how many? 31 goals in CONMEBOL World Cup qualification, breaking the tie that was held by his former teammate at Barcelona, Luis Suarez. Of course, Lionel Messi. There's a report. It's flying. It's circulating since, I think, the start of the week, that Lionel Messi is the confirmed winner of the 2023 Ballon d'Or award. Yeah. You saw the story?
Yeah, I saw it. I think it's hard for me to comment about it. I do not want him to win it.
It's speculative, basically.
Yeah, I know it's speculative. And secondly, I do not want him to win it. If he gets to win it, I can't do anything about it. It's basically that.
Yeah, but look, why don't you want him to win it?
I think other players, especially Erling Haaland, deserves it more. That's what I feel. Messi has done lots, I agree. Winning the World Cup with Argentina, it's super something. Yeah. A super thing, especially. But you look at the connectivity within that Argentine squad and all of the players who played and what Erling Haaland has done this particular season and year, the previous season, it's something fascinating and how good he's been. Look at the numbers of goals, humongous numbers of goals, if you want to count something. I think he deserves it quite well, especially winning the treble. But on the other hand, fascinating now for Lionel Messi, breaking Luis Suarez's record in terms of qualifiers in the South American competition. It makes a lot of sense. 31 goals. At a point we thought probably the footballer will slow down. He's not slowing down. Fascinating footballer.
Now, the apologists of Messi's 8th Ballon d'Or have been talking, have conversations rather with a lot of people, both in home and abroad. Have been talking about why Messi should win the Ballon d'Or 2023. And one thing that is common with what a lot of them say is they're going back to 2002 when Ronaldo de Lima won the Ballon d'Or award. Now, he played less than 10 games all season for Inter Milan, right? But he was instrumental for the Brazilian national team as they won the World Cup that same year, and he won the Ballon d'Or. So people are saying in World Cup years, the best player at the World Cup sometimes gets to win the Ballon d'Or. You buy into that as well?
You said sometimes. That basically shows you that there are no basis for winning the Ballon d'Or.
Absolutely.
2018 World Cup.
There are no basis.
2018 World Cup. What's his name? Luka Modric.
Luka Modric went to the final against France, didn't win it, but he won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but it was more like the best player in the tournament.
Mbappe was more like the best player in the tournament.
And he won the Ballon d'Or, right?
He was the best player of the tournament.
Won the Ballon d'Or, remember?
He did,
right?
He did.
But comparatively that year also, you look at what other performers
did.
He was also a top performer for Real Madrid, remember?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not basically about the World Cup. And I think
the primary conversation is the World Cup, yes.
I'm looking at Lionel Messi. Well, I understand it will bring contrasting views, basically, if he gets to win the Ballon d'Or. Now, if you remove the FIFA World Cup Lionel Messi won, you look at it at club level, I think he didn't do enough.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You cannot remove the World Cup in the conversation.
I'm not saying,
you cannot remove the World Cup in the conversation.
I'm not saying we should remove the World Cup because it is the FIFA Ballon d'Or. So basically, any tournament that went down within that space is deserving.
Exactly.
We also look at Erling Haaland, won the treble with Manchester City. Quite impressive as well.
Scored
but
52
then
goals.
There are views. These are views that will quite be a lot more conflicting. Basically, if Lionel Messi wins it, not as if he doesn't deserve it if he wins it.
Yeah.
But then other players also deserve chances of winning this Ballon d'Or. That's it for me.
Here's it, Mari. Also, he's won enough. But going to the World Cup story, everyone gets to refer to Ronaldo of Brazil winning it in 2002. I think what marked that out definitively was the very fact that look at other performers. Many people talked about Thierry Henry. When you look at Thierry Henry, yes, he won the Premier League that year, but not enough, didn't win the Champions League. Other teams won the Champions League.
But not Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Not Inter Milan in the case of Ronaldo de Lima.
Was Ronaldo even playing? Ronaldo wasn't even playing. That's the thing. So you weigh the World Cup year with other players, how they performed within that year too.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty about Ronaldo de Lima because it was fascinating to the world that a player that stayed out of football for 2 years, came to the World Cup, won the best player at the World Cup, the highest goal scorer at the World Cup, for crying out loud. Yes, it was a short frame, but you had to give it to him. Right. He defied the odds.
Monday, the 30th of October, 2023, will decide all of this drama. We'll take calls in right now, but it's years as Brazil lost to Uruguay 2-0 in the CONMEBOL qualification series. The 31-year-old forward tripped and fell during a run in the 44th minute, and he was crying. We saw clips of him leaving the stadium and he was in crutches. A really sad story. I wish the man speedy recovery. So far, pretty sad story. What Darwin Núñez scored, had an assist as well from Marcelo Bielsa's side. It's shocking. Remember, Bielsa and coaches Uruguay.
Absolutely.
Pretty stuff.
It looks like we're actually seeing a resurgent Darwin Núñez as compared to last season, where he was highly criticized looking at the fee he was signed with Liverpool. This season already, he's in the ground running with Liverpool, and then we're talking with the national team as well. So it looks like it might just actually be his season as well.
Let's hit in 2 calls before we talk. Well, before the calls, Argentina winger Angel Di Maria has said that after the Copa America for next year, he's going to retire. It'll be his last tournament with the Argentina national team after a 16-year run with the national team. Di Maria, who isn't part of Argentina's squad in the CONMEBOL due to injury, said one of the reasons for his return to Benfica was to help him reach next year's Copa America in good shape, and that's the conversation now. Angel Di Maria for Argentina. What a player he's been.
An absolute player. an absolute phenomenal player, if you like to put it that way. I remember the Copa America where Argentina won it, or the World Cup rather, that they won. He was also part of the World Cup. The Copa America did quite well as well. And at club level, aside Manchester United, he has actually had, positive things across center climbs, across different, club sides. And this man, you can really, of course, talk about Angel Di Maria, and then you don't talk about assist. You can talk about Angel Di Maria, and then you don't talk about goals. Back at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, that pair with Cristiano Ronaldo, and of course, Sami Khedira in the middle of the park was quite phenomenal. And then you talk about Paris Saint-Germain, then some would say he had domestic, he was domestic champions for a couple of seasons, but then his impact was also felt. So I think this man has been one man who has actually graced the pitch of play, and it will be quite sad. He will be leaving the national team.
Born on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, as a matter of fact. And of course, the man has won the FIFA World Cup with Argentina.
Absolutely.
And the Copa America 2021. As an individual player for the national team, he's won the Argentine Footballer of the Year 2014, FIFA World 11 2014, FIFA World Cup Dream Team 2014, CONMEBOL Team of the Decade 2011 to 2020, and it goes on and on and on like that. Blyden, what else is there to achieve?
Well, I do not care about anything he's achieved before the World Cup. I think the World Cup was the peak of it. For Argentina to perform quite well at the World Cup, especially the final, they needed an angel. And Angel Di Maria turned up to the party. The best performance I've seen Angel Di Maria perform was the World Cup final against France. First 2 goals, he cost them, and that was definitive. When he was pulled out of the game, we saw how France came back. He was the most definitive player for them, an angel on the night, and that caps it all. I think after such performance, it's just good enough for the man to retire from international football and have a rest. I heard him say that he was quite happy playing with Lionel Messi at club level of Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
But beyond that, he's played with the man at the national team. But beyond that, Angel Di Maria is a real angel to Argentina.
Real angel to me as well. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Top Ghana.
Good afternoon. Hi, Chief and YouTube.
Welcome to Top Ghana.
From the ongoing Governorship, I predict Usiribom and the play final. They are the favorite.
Nsurubium, because Nsuribom are down.
Yes. Forget about it. Maybe I had the documentary saying that if Green Eagles lose Senegal in the Nation Cup, that they send and get to a team. Maybe knows our weakest point, the goalkeeper department. Then maybe all else that was the forthcoming match as next of champion. And now that we pocket $900,000 money, I pray you can use the money for something good. Finally, money on the better corrupt service, we have blown up the game against snow. 7.3 million euros. You are not a lot of questions to answer.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Top Gunner, for talking to us. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon.
All right, welcome, Melody.
We're talking about the Ballon d'Or. Messi won the Ballon d'Or in 2010. He went to the World Cup. He didn't score a single goal at the World Cup. His country, Argentina, were bundled out at the quarter-final stage. A certain Schneider was there with Inter Milan, and Inter Milan won the treble. The treble, and he carried in the land. They reached the final of the World Cup. They didn't give it to Schneider. They didn't give it to any Spanish player for Spain win the World Cup. So there is no fairness in this World Cup. When in 2012 that Messi won the World Cup again, it was Chelsea that won the Champions League. There was no World Cup in it. It was Heroes. But Messi was still leading the World Cup. Despite back and not winning the Champions League, and despite Euros, he winning Euros. So what I'm telling about fairness, Messi has always been robbed. They have robbed other people to give it to Messi.
All right.
They give him this time, they still the same robbery. Big time robbery. A trouble, somebody that carries trouble is bigger than the World Cup. And this is 2023, not 2022. World Cup was played in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your thoughts still appreciated on the same. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sport analyst. Mr. Ivy on the line.
Welcome, Mr. Daisy.
Let me thank you. Let me talk about some of the teams in this qualifier and friendly match. The last of Super Eagles and Egyptian, Ghanaian national team, and the rest of them do it well. I want to talk about the Malian side that beat the Saudi Arabia, which our so-called Super Eagles have struggled to play a 1-1 draw. And I wonder the performance of the Super Eagles who managed a 2-1. Is it defeat in the hands of is it South Tome or the last friendly match that they play against a fellow country?
Mozambique.
Mozambique, thank you. And I am surprised that is not the performance that we are going to put in the World Cup and take on the like of Mali and Ghana, Senegal,
right.
Africa. So our coach should step up to the billing and make sure that our Super Eagles become one of the bright stars in African Cup of Nations.
Thank you
for having
very much for talking to us. Let's just touch down the Facebook page and take comments from there. This particular well, let's just refresh and see if we have new comments, because it was last opened a couple of minutes before we took calls in. All right, so the comments are coming in right now. Well, Moshe Chidi Zeji says, Edeji rather, says, Joseph Pesero should talk less and get the job done on the pitch. Besides, I honestly don't understand the criteria the goalkeeper trainers use in inviting goalkeepers, but the Europe-based and home-based gatekeepers. In my opinion, Bankole Kayode of Remo Stars, Christian Walker of Sporting Lagos, Mustafa Lawal of Sunshine Stars, and Amaso Basugi of Benton Insurance should be given a chance as I rate them ahead of Ojo or Lauren Leke. I am Mark Mike Jr. Says, good afternoon, Mari Blyden and David. Please, my you am playing UCL today. Please review the game. I beg. Liberty De McMahon says, good afternoon. International football game is over. Back to Premier League. Please tell us now my team. Chelsea ready for them. Also, Francis Omaga Namani says, watching live from Omaga. Thank you very much, Francis. Also, Comrade Ekben Akban says, good afternoon. Arsenal should Chelsea waiting no good on Saturday. 3-1. Pray hard. Dilly, the legends, boys, says Chelsea should stop making noise for here. Who won Chelsea? Please don't start already. We have days to talk about that. Well, guys, we'll take the score before we talk about other stories. 09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. Well, I'm thinking, let's talk about the stories. The Italian Football Association, FIGC, has banned Juventus midfielder Niccolò Fagioli for at least 7 months over breaches of betting rules, according to a statement. The FIGC ban is for 12 months in total, 5 of which suspended, provided Fagioli completes a 6-month course of therapy for gambling issues and attends at least 10 public meetings. Fagioli is just 22. Has also been fined €12,500 for violation relating to betting on footballing events. Now, he wasn't the only person called out of the Italian national team. There's also Newcastle man Sandro Tonali. And Tonali's case might even get a lot more crazy, because there are reports that while as an AC Milan player, this man was betting. Zaniolo too. Zaniolo is in and around the scene, but the two men who heard stories, Sandro Tonali. Now, Tonali, we hear, while as a Milan player, was betting on Milan matches. Now, my problem is, this man earns over £150,000.
What are you earning? What are you going to earn anymore?
What's he betting?
The same story with Ivan Toney.
Right, the conversation you're asking is so simple. Why do people earn less than the minimum wage also bet? It's basically the same thing. Now it's an addiction. It started quite at a young age, and over time he's been baiting, and it's that concern. And that is it for me. I love the fact that they're also having different level of support, because they tend to understand that this baiting is not just a problem, it's an addiction. And that's it for me. And I think it cuts across to all players that are involved in this, including Tonali, including Zaniola and the rest. For me, at the end of it, most likely we're going to see that suspension period and a ban, because there ought to be a punishment. So when you want to reflect on it, this is what led to this, and probably help them to recuperate and improve and leave the addiction. But it's quite concerning to see young players go through this, and there are many more. That's the conversation.
But it's our story. Like I say, invest wisely. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, as a matter, hoping to have his investment, speaking of investment, into United confirmed ahead of the January transfer window, but there are concerns about what finances will be able to boost the squad. Ratcliffe and his Ineos consortium are proposing £1.35 billion to purchase 25% share United, while it assumed control of the sporting side of the business. And a source close to Newsman said Ratcliffe is conscious of supported backlash because his deal will allow unpopular owners to stay on, despite all of that. But the man intends to splash the cash for United in January? Is that what they need, Blyden?
Well, I think it's going to be a bit balanced, just as we've seen with Nice. They're not getting the biggest of players in that club, but good addition to Manchester United, because now you have an investor who brings in 25% or controls 25% stake of that club and brings in some good money into it. And look at the football section of it. Let's see, they will have better facilities at Manchester, at Old Trafford and the training ground. But on the other hand, also here, according to sources, Mari, that Sheikh Jassim is also planning a total overhaul and takeover of Tottenham Hotspur. Recently, Tottenham Hotspur have been talking about it, but until it's really
Daniel Levy is going to let that happen.
Well, we heard Levy talked about it in recent times. If they have the right investor come in, they'll give him space. Daniel Levy just have a small percentage of that club, very minor.
He's not the owner of Tottenham. He's just a chairman. Yeah. There's an owner,
and he's been very stubborn.
But the owner's giving him the powers.
Basically, he's the man running the football aspect of the club.
Absolutely.
The owner runs the business aspect of the club, especially after being fine fixated in what's they call it now. There were trading issues the owners had. It's been that conversation.
Basically. All right, so let's take a few calls in and bounce. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. For the United fans, good news. Jim Ratcliffe coming in. He's already said he's going to spend money on the club and sign players, but is that what they need? Good afternoon, welcome to the show. Hello. So I'm going to go ahead. The loss 2 goals to 0 this morning. Top Gunner, this is the first time in a long time Brazil have dropped points in back-to-back matches. It's the first time in a long time. They're not Nigeria.
Okay, look at their World Cup record. All in shambles. And Supanyama is middle close.
All right. Thank you very much, Top Gunner. Hello, Melody. Good afternoon.
Hello. One last time. This is Melody.
Go ahead.
I think concerning the president saying that he believes that the players he has can win in the Nations Cup, that he believes he can win in the Nations Cup. I don't know whether he's going to use him out to win in the Nations Cup. With the kind of performance that they perform against Saudi Arabia, he come outside Arabia. Mali big Saudi Arabia 3 but Nigeria couldn't beat. And with the kind of errors the Bogota is doing, I wonder how he will win it, whether he will use magic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it for the show this afternoon.
President Bola by 4-1.
3 on the lock for qualifiers, 7 points. That's concerning. And Sofia Amrabat had been injured, so quite concerning for Manchester United.
Amrabat, I saw the
struggle continues.
Now, well, it's a really crazy thing for United as we look forward to the
and for Amrabat.
And for
back-to-back injuries came back. We thought it's going to be sustainable. Injured again.
So bad.
All right. Thank you very much, Donnie, for being a part of the show. Thank you, UT.
Meanwhile,
always a pleasure.
Today is the Women's UEFA Champions League qualifying series. PSG against Manchester United women. Remember we talked about women's inclusiveness, and it started with the media. So take that in.
A woman has been included to the squad, by the way. All right, so well, happy birthday to Lionel Munam. You have my very best wishes. Big man. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your day. Happy chapter 30-something for you. My name is Mariziona. I'll see you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, ciao, adios.